In this video, I'll walk you through the build of a leg-wise and sliding Deadman for an MDF workbench. The motivation for this video came from two videos that I saw on YouTube. One is by Krueger and the other one is by Jay Bates. I'll link both the videos below. I followed the Jay Bates video to a T and really incredibly grateful to the content published by both of them to help me succeed with this build. First, I'll demonstrate how this leg-wise and sliding Deadman works and then get into the build aspects. I want to show you a leg-wise that I recently built for this table. As you see here, this is the leg-wise and it can be used to clamp any piece of wood to the jaw. You just open this up like this and then you slide any piece of wood that you want to put in between the jaws. Like for example, if I want to work on this piece of wood, here I just place this here and I clamp it and I can work on this. I can plane it, I can do anything to this piece of wood while this leg vise holds it strongly. Next thing I want to show you is the concept of a sliding Deadman. Basically, when using the vise, and let's say you're working on something long like this or even longer than this, and you open the vise jaws and you clamp it in, you're seeing how this piece over here on the right is unsupported, so there's a very high chance that this might rock down. So in order to prevent that, we use this sliding Deadman which slides from left to right and lock it at any place that I want to, and then I use a hold fast here. Wherever you want, these height adjustable holes have been drilled where you can put it. Like let's say for example I want to put this a little bit lower down. I put it here, clamp it in and put the hold fast here and knock it down. So now this is held in place with the hold fast, which will not allow this to move. So I can work on this very stable and very secure. And this Deadman slides around from left to right. So it can be used for even a piece which is as big as this table. Now I will walk you through the elements of this vise. As you're seeing here, this handle basically helps to rotate it. It goes through a long vise screw that is anchored into the leg. So as I open this, what you will observe, the jaws over here have been covered with a piece of leather, this one, that gives a better gripping surface. You're seeing here is the screw, vise screw, that goes from right to the left. So that vise screw, if I go below the table here, goes here, and you're seeing this piece of support at the top here, that's basically helping to contain the vise screw so that it doesn't move up and down. So when the vise screw comes in, this will help seat it so that it doesn't go up and down. And then there's a secondary piece here which contains a dowel attached to the vise, and basically what this does is uses this leg as a support to make sure that the vise doesn't go left to right. So the piece at the top supports the up and down movement, and the piece at the bottom supports the left to right movement. The other thing to show is this wedge. The reason for this wedge is because when you lock in a piece of wood, you're basically very strong at the top, holding it together, but you want to make sure that the bottom doesn't rack. So this wedge basically goes through here at an angle. It's cut at the same angle as the leg here. So this wedge is used to basically help in making sure that the leg does not move at the bottom. So basically this wedge can be increased or decreased based on thickness of the workpiece. So this slides in and out here. Thank you for watching. I hope this gives you some ideas of the different types of work holding that you can incorporate into your workbench. I bought a 10-foot piece of 2x10 and cut it up into two 35-inch pieces, and then I'm taking off the smooth rounded edges The reason for the 35 inches is because my workbench height is 34 inches and I just wanted to give an extra inch. And once these two pieces have been cut and the smooth edge is taken out, I'm going to go on to the next step. Since the two pieces of 2x10s are going to be glued together to create a lamination, the first step I'm doing here is planing them to ensure I have a flat surface. I'm basically installing wedges under the first piece to make sure that I can plane one side completely flat and using that side as a reference to plane the second side. Once I'm done with one piece, then I'm going to bring the other piece of wood and repeat the same thing. In this way, I'm creating completely flat surfaces that can each then be glued together and laminated. I'm spreading the glue quite liberally here using an old credit card. You can use a glue roller if you want, but this is just lying around, so I used it. It is important to ensure that you get a full coverage of the glue across the full board. Don't leave any empty spots. When you laminate them together, if something leaks out, you can always wipe it. Now I'm spreading some salt so that when I put the second board on top of that and clamp it, it doesn't slip. Since I'm using construction grade pine, the material is fairly soft, so I'm basically using these blocks to ensure that while clamping the surface is not getting damaged. I let it dry for 24 hours before going to the next step. The picture shown here is the Yost vise that I used. I will link it below. I'm then using this Drillmate to basically drill the 1-inch hole that the vise screw needs to go in. I will link the product below. Now comes the tough part about drilling this 1-inch hole through 7 inches of wood, because I got two of them back to back. So I finished drilling here, you're seeing this here, and then the vise screw has been put in just to test it. I'm hoping that this works. What I'm trying to do is create a taper, but instead of using a tapering jig or something like that, what I've done is I want a 1-inch taper at the bottom. So I marked this piece of wood about 1 inches from this side and laid it against a flat board here. And then this is my piece of wood that needs to be cut. So the ending of that, I've kind of coincided with the 1-inch line that I've marked here. And at the top, I've kept it right next to the board. I've anchored it at two places, one here and two over there. And I believe that that's about it with the setup. So I'm hoping this will help me cut a good taper. For the other side, I just used my normal tapering jig because I couldn't figure out how the non-jigless mechanism would work on the opposite side. So I just did it. I drilled the holes and attached the mechanism through which the vise screw slips in. Now I'm placing a piece of wood at the top, which has got a curve cut over there, which envelopes around the screw. This is to ensure that when the screw moves in, if it has a tendency to go up, that particular vertical piece is going to push it down so that it maintains its rotation in the same plane. So you should refer to Jay Bates' video for this one. Basically what we are doing here is that I'm using this tapered cut so that it can fit a wedge. So this is my wedge. So it will travel like this along the bottom so the bottom doesn't rock back and forth when the vise is tightened, right? So this can go in like this. So the angle at which this has been cut is really the angle of this wedge. I'm drilling a hole for a 1/2-inch double rod that I'm putting it in very tightly. I didn't use glue because it fits in very tightly. And then I'm screwing this into the back of the leg. The purpose for this is because this will stop the vise from racking left to right. Now I'm cutting a 45-degree bevel on the top. After attaching a 1-inch oak dowel and placing the height at the height of the vise, it opens extremely smoothly and closes very tightly. I'm making the lower track for the sliding Deadman here, so it's basically 48 inches long, and I'm cutting it at 45 degrees and making a sharp V. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking off a small slice of that, so there's a flat small top, and then on the rest of the channel, the sliding Deadman is going to slide. Now what I need to do is to cut this up so that to a piece 48 inches long that can be anchored into the base. And what you're seeing here is basically I'm cutting the sliding Deadman. I'm making the V cuts over here, so this V is going to be sliding on top of the track that we just cut. As you're seeing here, it's a very smooth slide. Like the bottom track was V-shaped, the upper track is going to be a dado that I'm going to cut, and I'm going to cut the tenon on the sliding Deadman, so the tenon slides inside the dado on the top. What you're seeing here is that I'm making these cuts, repeated cuts on my table saw to create the tenon. So the track on the top is going to have a dado that matches that, and here you're seeing me cutting the dado. I'm making the two measurements and cutting them, and in between them I'm removing the pieces of wood in between those two edges to create the dado. And then I'm cutting it just like what I did for the V, so that it can be anchored into the top. Now I'm marking the sliding Deadman because I want to have holes running in two columns here. The first column is going to be spaced out, the holes are going to be spaced out at 2 inches apart. And the second column that you're seeing me drawing there, the holes are going to be spaced in such a way that each hole appears at the middle of the previous column. Now I'm fixing the sliding Deadman to both the rails mounted on the top and the bottom. And it slides smoothly. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching.